Hello, I'm Jay Ford. I was just in my, it's kind of, I call it my man cave, but it's actually the office. But I was looking at a Coors glass pitcher that you would get like at like a pizza place, Pizza Hut, those type of places. They give you a pitcher of beer, and then they give you some glasses for the party that's you're with, and you just pour out of the pitcher into your glasses, and sit there and eat your pizza and visit with everybody and stuff. I was trying to remember, that picture was given to me by my late sister-in-law, but I was trying to remember how many times I've been to a place, and it's usually pizza, that they give you they ask if you want a pitcher of beer, and they bring you a whole pitcher for everybody to just pour out of. I think I've been like once, maybe twice in my life where I could enjoy it too. A lot of times I was too young, to drink back when I was a lot younger as a kid. But my brothers and my dad and uncle, whoever I'm with, they would drink it. There've been more occasions during when they would get to enjoy it instead of me. I'd just be drinking pop or something. But maybe twice for me. But yeah, I'd like to do that again sometime. Right now, it's just really with the COVID crap going on. It's really not a good idea for me personally. I just so anyway, I was just thinking about that, and then when I thought about that, back in the day, is kind of where I was going with this. I was thinking about other things from my youth that I remember. So I wrote down a few things. Remember phone booths? That's a thing of the past, isn't it? Nobody, you don't need those anymore. 90%, if not a little bit more of a percentage of everybody has a cell phone. So don't need phone booths really anymore. So, but it's just, you remember, there were booths, and then you had the ones that were just mounted on the wall that you could walk up to and dial through those, But when I lived in South Carolina, we lived in Lexington. My dad worked for Southern Bell, I think it was Southern Bell. But his job was, he wasn't there for like a very long time, but his job was cleaning phone booths, cleaning phones, cleaning the mounted ones, the stainless steel, cleaning the hand, device, the coil, the hooked to the phone, to the hand device. There was a blue, do you remember the little blue? It's a little blue rubber grommet or something that was right underneath the hand device that was covering the connection to the stainless steel coil. That had to be cleaned. He would clean the hand device, the coil, the stainless steel, the face of it, the buttons. He had to clean, and the booths, there was glass. He had to clean both sides of the glass. He had to sweep it out. A lot of times the phone book was damaged. He had to replace that, sweep it out. Sometimes he had to change, no, he didn't change the little blue things on there, to the hand device, to the coil, but he would make a report that it would need to be changed, and a technician would come and do that. the overall appearance of things in there. He'd have to, make a little report how it was. But a lot of times I went with him on a few of the cleans, few of the phone booth cleaning runs. It was pretty fun. It was interesting to be able to see them all. People are writing things on everything in there with markers and stuff, and we had to try to clean that stuff off. We had a chemical called Purple Power that my dad carried with him, and it was a powerful chemical that would clean almost anything, so phone booths. It's just cool to remember those things, that was something that was everywhere. Phone booths and the mounted ones outside convenience stores, they were everywhere. They was available pretty conveniently everywhere. So yeah, a thing of the past, Do you remember not having cell phones? I mean, when you had to depend on a phone booth being nearby, you're out somewhere, you need to call. You need to call home. You need to call your wife, let her know where you're at. You need to call your mom, your dad, whatever. I need a ride. You got to find a phone booth or, a payphone. You need to find one of those to call. Otherwise, you could be in trouble. So now you got cell phones. Do they always work? Depends on where you are. If you're out somewhere, there's no cell tower or whatever, you can't get a signal, then you're in trouble again. So, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember what year it was I got my first cell phone. I can't even remember. But I think when I got my first one, I think the BlackBerry had just came out. I can't remember who makes that. Anyway, it was a fancy phone, I remember thinking, I'd like to get one of those, if I get a cell phone, those were more pricey, so I got some kind of cheapy thing. But, yeah. But now, I kind of wrote some things down. Do y'all remember? I don't know if they still do this now. They might in the South, maybe. Green stamps. Remember green stamps? When you get groceries, they give you so many green stamps for how much, depending on how much groceries you get a bunch of green stamps. Plus, you get you can ask them for the little books. The little books where you can put them all in, and you can hand those in. You can get like a catalog that shows how many green stamps you would need to get a certain thing. Man, I got so many. I got. Let's see. When I lived in South Carolina, is when when we was doing the green stamps, and through I think they're S&H green stamps. Through those, I got like a BB gun. I got a hatchet. Can't remember what else I got, but my mom and dad, they just let me get stuff with them. I was always excited to see how many we got. A lot of times they'd put them in the sack, and when we get home, I'd be like trying to find them. But green stamps, S&H green stamps. How about, remember bottle returns? Remember when soda pop bottles had actually how much you can get for each one, like a 25-cent return or something like that. Some maybe were 5 cents, or so you'd save those bottles and you'd take them to the grocery store, and they would give you so much money for your bottles. my older brothers would do that. I don't remember my dad paying too much attention to it, but I did it a little bit when I was a kid. I'd find them and give them to my brother, and he'd take them down. There was the big soda pop bottles that you'd get, like, I can't remember how much for those. Maybe they were 25 cents or something, and the other ones were 5 and 10 cents. I can't remember how it worked, but bottle returns. I don't see that. I don't see that anymore. I mean, you can take them in to be recycled, but that's all I know. So while you was in school, all you boys and girls out there, when you was in school, when I was in school, I'm trying to remember how many times I rode the school bus. You go to the bus stop. When I was younger in Colorado, I rode the school bus. When I lived in Iowa, I rode it a little bit, but I had epilepsy when I was a kid, and I slipped one time on the ice on the way to the bus and hit the back of my head and had a convulsion, and I either was walked to the bus after that, or I think maybe my folks took me to school or something like that. After that happening, they were afraid that on the way to the bus something might happen. So, but South Carolina, when I lived there, we lived in a trailer court, and my trailer was way down toward the end, and every morning I had to walk way up the street to the end of the street to where the highway was, and wait for the bus to come. And my friend Greg, he would meet me up there, and we would chat, and a few other people would be other kids would show up there, and we'd be waiting for the bus and stuff. And do you remember when it wouldn't show up, like in the wintertime, or it snowed or something like that? I would always be like, it snowed, maybe the bus won't show up. You could see way down the road, you could watch for it to come, and we'd be watching for it. It wouldn't show up sometimes, and it's because the roads were too bad. And well, if it didn't show up, I didn't have a ride to school. There was nothing I could do. So there was one time they sent a different bus showed up. They sent it was starting to get late. It wasn't it wasn't bad weather, but I mean, we waited for a while, and then all of a sudden, here comes a bus. I'm like, that's kind of funny. Why is it so late? And it gets here, and it's not our bus. It's a different bus they sent because our bus broke down or something like that. And we're like, shoot, I thought we was gonna, get out of going to school today. But, but yeah, snow days. Those were awesome. Being able to walk back home because the bus wasn't showing up. You get a free day off from school. Man, that was the greatest. Remember on the school bus, there's always some kid that picks on everybody. We had ours, and they didn't pick on me. But I saw, there was one kid that would get picked on, and I felt so sorry for that kid. Let's see. Remember, your home phones, your mounted ones, whatever, and just your rotodial phones. How much fun you could have with those. A lot of times you'd call. They couldn't trace you. As far as I know, you could, call different people, and for a while, I don't think they had the callback type thing where you can dial something that recalls the number that just called you. I don't think they had that back when we was messing with people, but you could call someone and then say stupid stuff like your refrigerator's running, or I don't remember what all you could say, but just stupid stuff, and then hang up. You could mess with your folks or somebody, and you can call your own phone number and then hang it up immediately, and then it rings, and you can act like you're talking to somebody, or you can make it ring and go hide and someone answer it, and there's nobody on here. Time and temperature. How many people called time and temperature all the time? I know I did. I didn't, when I was a kid, I didn't wear a watch, really very, very much. If I did, it was like them old Casios, the old cheapy things you can get for $5 or $6. And those things that make my wrist itch, so didn't wear them all the time. But if you were home, you have clocks, but other places, I remember my mom worked at nights, is when my folks were separated, and my mom worked a night shift, and a lot of times I'd be at home by myself, and feeling scared, I'd call time and temperature just so I could hear a voice, and then outside to see what time it is, see if it's close to time my mom come home. But time and temperature. I remember writing on the bathroom stall walls. I'd write for a good time. I put in the time and temperature number. For a good time, call this. They'd get the time. So. So anyway, said those two things. Back in the day. How do you guys and girls, who all would get up as early as you could Saturday mornings for cartoons? Man, cartoons, that was my life on Saturdays. I'd watch cartoons from, just the break of day, they'd be on, and I'd be in there watching them all day. Well, as long as they were on, there's a certain time they'd stop and go to a show or something like Gomer Pyle or Happy Days or something like that. I can't remember what all would come on. But cartoons, man, that was my life on Saturdays. I just loved them. Bugs Bunny, that was probably one of my favorites. Bugs Bunny, Pink Panther, all those kinds. I think sometimes, I'm trying to remember, on weekdays, I was trying to think of if any shows come on Saturday mornings besides just cartoons. Maybe later on in the afternoon, like McHale's Navy or something. Those kinds. Anyway, how about who all was so into shows that you'd hurry home from school to be home on time to watch a particular show? For me, Star Trek. I was hurrying home to see Star Trek. That was my show, man. My dad usually watched that with me. There was a lot of shows after school. There was Get Smart, Star Trek. They're usually around like 5 o'clock, I think, some of those. But Star Trek come on like at 3:30 or something like that. That's why I had to hurry on home. But then the evenings there was, some of the westerns, Gunsmoke, Bonanza, stuff like that. Anyway, yeah, I just remember hurrying home to watch Star Trek. And then there was also Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew Mysteries, or something like that, that I watched also. Let's see, what else? Remember staying up late with your dad or whatever, watching like Johnny Carson. My dad loved to watch Johnny Carson, and I'd watch him too, with him. And yeah, it was just, Johnny Carson holds a lot of memories for me when I was a kid. But I got a DVD of a bunch of Johnny Carson episodes. Haven't watched it in a while, but got that. Also, family shows. How about watching? I mean, I don't know who all was into like country type music. It was more kind of based just out of comedy, but Hee Haw. Remember Hee Haw? It was a lot of country singers on there. I liked country singers back then too. So they had a lot of classic country singers, and there was a lot of comedy, silly stuff. You know, their family would watch that when it come on. Let's see, Sundays. Remember the World of Disney, Walt Disney, Disney World. I think it was just called Walt Disney. They'd have a Disney movie on Sunday nights that we would, you know, all prepare to watch. And me and my brothers would get a pillow, and we'd all, you know, get our own pillows, and we'd lay down on the floor and watch those movies. Remember in school year's almost up. It's the last day, and you get your yearbooks. Everybody gets their yearbooks. Everybody's having people sign their yearbooks, and I moved around so much when I was a kid. I missed out on a lot of yearbooks. My picture was in them. Somebody else got to see pictures of me, but a lot of I'd move away before the end of the school year was up. So I'd miss out on getting my yearbook when I was a kid. So I got a couple maybe back in the day. Don't have them now. My wife has all hers, so she can look back on people, but I don't have any. Don't have any yearbooks. I used to have one, a kindergarten. Oh, well, I had a picture. I might still have that one. Just a school, you know, the class picture. I think they gave you those too. Just separate, a lot of them back in my elementary days, but I think I got one of those. But last day, everybody's excited, you know. Not a lot going on. Excuse me. How many of you as teenagers remember cruising in your car, you know, whether you had a nice, you know, hot rod or just a regular car? Cruise nights, Friday nights, Saturday nights, cruising in the, you know, where it's the area that everybody cruises in. I had a couple of, I had one car. It was a old Chevelle, and it had dual exhaust and had glass packs on it. And these things, I mean, they were just so loud. They were so loud that my car sounded fast, but it wasn't fast. I'd get some speed going. I'd put it in a low one, and it'd go, pop, 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 pop. So it was a fun car, but it wasn't fast. But we'd cruise in that, me and my friend Richard. This was in Colorado. We'd cruise in Fort Collins. It was just the place to go. So it wasn't very far from where I lived in Loveland. But we cruised this circle that was right there by a college. It was just everybody would just go down. They'd make a turn here and just make a circle all around. And sometimes you come up to the light together, with somebody, and you would, you wouldn't be able to race there, but a lot of them would go down into the neighborhoods nearby and race a little bit. But I think I did just for fun. I didn't win, but it was just a fun thing, listening to music in your car, your windows down, your arm out the window, and and everybody just had a good time. I don't remember anything happening. There wasn't any fights that I ever saw happening anywhere. Everybody was just showing off their cars and just visiting. There was a lot of areas where they was all parked in a group out there talking and stuff, watching other cars go by and stuff. So when I moved to Oklahoma, I cruised back in the 80s, a little bit, and a little bit before and a little bit after I met my girlfriend, that's now my wife, and we cruised a little bit. Then I had a better car by that time. I had a 74 Cutlass Supreme. It was nice. It was dual exhaust. I think it had some kind of, I want to say cherry bomb exhaust or something like that. It sounded nice. Had red vinyl seats. Might have been leather. Automatic on the, had an automatic on the floor. It was nice. It was a nice car, white. I loved that car. Anyway, cruising. That was fun. Do I have any more? Remember, those of you that's into music, did you ever get those of you that are my age, in the 50s, did you ever get Song Hits magazine? When I lived in South Carolina, I got this magazine called Song Hits, and what it has is what songs are popular right now. It's like the hits of the month or something like that. I had a prescription to Song Hits magazine. Every month I would get a new one, and it would, on the front it would show a certain band and the song that might have been like the number one for the month. And then you open it up and you can see all the songs that are that are in there with the lyrics. Excuse me. And then there was a little story on the next page or something. But it was pretty cool, and I always was anxious to get that because back then I didn't have a computer. This is back in the late 70s. I didn't have a computer. If you hear a song and you like it, you got to write down what you think is the title, and then you can either go to the record store and you can try to find the song that it might be, or you can look in your Song Hits magazine and see if it's in there. But when I would go to bed at night, I'd leave my stereo on. I'd listen to music while I was going to sleep. That was a habit of mine. My dad would come in later, I think, turn it off, so in the mornings when I wake up, the stereo would be turned off. But I would go to bed with music playing. I have a notebook and a pen on my bedstand beside my bed. If I hear a song when I'm trying to sleep, I would instantly get up and try to write it down or something. But anyway, if any of those things strike a memory for you, put it in the comments. You might strike a memory for me. Oh yeah, I remember doing that, or something like that. But yeah, just a little video. You know, y'all can chat about it and compare. Help you remember the good old days. A lot of kids, younger kids today, wouldn't know about all that kind of stuff, you know. But okay, I'm gonna end it there. I thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good day, good week, and we will see you on the next one.